Now, you told a story in your book about a huge wreck at Talladega where Joe broke his arm. Tell me about that incident.
That, I don't remember the date, but it had to be 72 around in there someplace. And NASCAR started 60 cars at Talladega. That was the last time they ran that many cars. And about the 10th or 11th lap, Ramo Stott, I think it was in Junie Dunleavy's car, lost a motor, and he spun. He spun down off the apron and into the infield, and the infield, for some reason, wasn't grass, so it stirred up a ton of dirt. And it made a cloud, and the wind blew that dirt cloud over the racetrack and just made the wreck worse. And we had radios, and I called Joe. I said, Joe, are you okay? He didn't come around. So I said, Joe, you okay? And I didn't hear nothing from him. And then I just heard this real loud noise, and Joe says, that effing driver just ran into me, and one of the drivers had gone all the way around the wreck the first time.
Oh, wow.
And the second time around, spun down off the track and backed into Joe. And he backed into Joe's driver's door. And Joe says, yeah. He says, we're going to need a new windshield. So he came around, and the situation is you take the clips off, take the windshield out, send him out, and go a lap so you don't get a lap down. And when he left, something didn't seem right. So I called Joe on the radio. I said, Joe, what kind of driver's uniform you got on? He says, I got the union uniform. It's one they gave everybody. So it was a tan colored. But when I looked in that window, that uniform was red. So I said, Joe, what's going on? He said, just get me the effing windshield in this car. We came back in. I looked down inside there, and I could see probably 4 inches of the bone in his forearm.
Wow.
And I said, hey, you ain't racing this thing. He says, put that effing windshield in that car. And I said, I ain't going to do it. He says, you work for me. If you don't put that windshield in there, I'm going to come out there and kick your butt. Well, you can't put the windshield in. I said, what, if I put the windshield in, how are you going to hold on to it? He said, I want you to put two wraps of gray tape around my arm and then tape my left hand to the steering wheel. I said, Joe, you're just crazy. I ain't doing it.
That's not funny, but it's funny.
Well, today it's funny. It
Yeah.
wasn't funny then. And he wanted to go, so I went and raised the hood and reached over and pulled the coil wire out. That wasn't the best decision I ever make. That bit me pretty hard, but I said, we're shutting the motor off. He came out of that car. He was going to kick my butt. So I made my way to the infield care center. We did not make it all the way to the infield care center before he passed out on the ground.